Hello and welcome. My name is Rajiv and today I'll be showing you how to install SQL Server Failover cluster on multi-subnet environment. As being a DBA, I have a habit of creating virtual machines and testing the SQL Server features. So when I came to know about SQL Server on multi-subnet environment, I was keen to learn about it. But when I searched over the internet, I did not find much. So I decided that I have to make a video series on this feature. So here we are. So if you are watching this video series, I'm assuming you have some experience with Windows Server, networking infrastructure, and SQL Server Failover cluster. Because SQL Server Failover cluster is the base for this feature. So without wasting time, let's move to our next slide that will show you the architecture of multi-subnet environment. So as you can see, we have one domain controller named as GODC, which has two subnets of 192.168.52.10, 192.168.53.10, and we have four nodes over here. But to be clear, let's assume we have two data centers at two sites. One is at Delhi and another one is at Mumbai. So we have two nodes at each data center. We have GeoNode 1 and GeoNode 2 at Delhi data center, and one storage, that is SAN 1, and GeoNode 3 and 4 and SAN 2 storage at Mumbai. So we have our SQL Server services running over here at GeoNode 1. So if this node goes down, so SQL Server services will jump to GeoNode 2 and the services will be up. We are happy, everyone is happy, because we have our data available, we have our application running. But what if the whole site goes down? So assume the data center got fire. So in this case, we have another site that is at Mumbai, which can host our SQL Server services, and our data will be available to us. So the SQL Server services will jump to another site. But what about the data? So as I told you, we have SAN 1 at Delhi. So everything that is being written by both the nodes is being written to SAN 1. And this data is being replicated to SAN 2 at Mumbai location. So this is called SAN replication. So we have SAN replication implemented between both the locations. So as you can see, the nodes have different IP addresses with different subnets. So we have .52 subnet and .53 subnet, and we have 10.10.001 and 2 for the SAN, and over here we have 10.10.11 series for the SAN 2 at Mumbai location. So both are on different subnet. So this is the core fundamental of multi-subnet environment. So without wasting time, I'll be showing you how we are going to implement this on virtual environment. Due to less resources, as I'm using my Dell laptop which has 16 GB of RAM and 500 GB of SSD with an old i3 processor, so I'm limited to the resources. So instead of having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7 nodes, I'll be having only 3 nodes. So I have same concept of GODC. The domain controller will be the same with the 2 different subnets, as you can see. So we'll be assuming that this is Delhi and this one is Mumbai. So when we have all 3 nodes set up and every node can ping each other, that means GeoNode 1 can ping GeoNode 2, GeoNode 2 can ping GeoNode 1, and both nodes can ping DC, the domain controller. Then we will add a Windows cluster, or I can say we will create a Windows cluster and add both the nodes into that Windows cluster. When we are done with adding both nodes to Windows cluster, it's time to create a virtual SAN. I'll be using StarWin in order to create virtual SAN and replicate data between both the SANs. So here we have to assume one more thing, that GeoNode 1 is one box that will act as a node for SQL Server services, and it will also act as a storage for different locations. So now the data that is being written to this storage will be replicated to this storage on GeoNode 2 that is located at Mumbai. So we have the terminology called SAN replication to achieve this. So as I told you, I'll be using StarWin software in order to achieve this. So once again, to wrap up things, we have GODC, we have nodes added to Windows cluster, then we have GeoNode 1 and GeoNode 2. This box is working as the box for the SQL Server services and as well as the storage, and same applies for this one. So when we are done with installing StarWin, now it's time to install SQL cluster, and after installing the SQL cluster, we are done. So if this is the active node in this environment, in this multi-subnet environment, if this node goes down, or I can say if this data center goes down, so the SQL Server services will move to this node, or I can say to this data center. And as you're already aware, we have SAN replication implemented, so the data is being replicated to both the nodes. Now one more thing I would like to discuss. I have these two networks for StarWin. One is for heartbeat and another one is for synchronization of data. So this is the requirement for StarWin software. So that's why I have added these two additional network cards. So let's go to the demos.